Well, hello there. How are you? I'm doing great, but I'd be much better if I had won the lottery. In today's video, I'm going to explain and break down I-DLE's saddest yet best song, Han Alone in Winter. For those who are not aware, I'm going to make a video explaining the Han Hua trilogy, and for that, I'm explaining each song separately. I've already done Han, so if you haven't seen it yet, I recommend you do because it may help you understand this video even better. Han Alone in Winter is the bridge between Han and Hua. The song talks about the lonesomeness after betrayal and breakup by associating their sadness with the winter. In Han, they were going through the feeling of Han because of the betrayal. As I said in the Han explanation video, they were so mad that they weren't even suffering. They were having a hard time dealing with their emotions, so they didn't accept the sadness. On the other hand, in Han Alone in Winter, they are feeling anguish and pain after the separation. The feeling of Han is still present, as it's clear by the name of the song, but now they are starting to accept it. Let's take a deep dive into the lyrics. Oh, before that, let's talk about the name of the song. You might be asking yourself, why is the song also named Han? And I sort of already told you. The first Han is a mix of feelings circling mourn and sadness. This Han means cold, which is further specified by the Chinese character that also means cold. The truth is that she could have chosen any other of the multiple Korean words to describe cold, but she chose Han. And the reason for that is because she wanted to express that despite accepting the winter coming, she still feels Han. She's been suffering ever since Han. This is further mentioned in the song as well, but she's been trying to accept the ending for a really long time. To hold on to these feelings for so long hurts in many ways, especially because it limits the doors to self-knowledge and freedom. Acceptance is liberating, if chosen, as it grounds and solidifies the reasons why something ended. However, that's not what they are choosing, because it hurts. They continue to struggle against the inevitable ending, resisting the painful conclusion that they won't be together ever again. The pathway to acceptance can be an emotional voyage of different perspectives and possibilities until it actualizes, and that happens in its sequel, Hua. The flower blossom is a reference to the winter, which represents her sadness. The majority of flowers and plants wither in the winter because they require water and sunlight, both of which are scarce during this season. She's talking about being so depressed that she can't let the spring come so she may finally bloom. She is the same from the day she promised to erase the man. The feeling of Han still lingers with her. Despite being so firm on it previously, she couldn't keep her promise. A single breeze caused the promise to be broken. Actually, Soyeon used the word 휘청이고 here, which is closer to the word stumble, so I believe she's referring to the fact that she's still trying to keep her promise of erasing the man, but simply can't. The promise was easily broken, but it was never a lie. She was trying really hard to erase him. She just couldn't. If you are hurting, the emotions won't leave you anytime soon. The promise of forgetting him became a constant reminder that she'd never be able to do so unless she accepted the end. Soyeon used the word 떠올리지 here, which is usually used to talk about something floating or scattering. She used this word here to talk about her memories, implying that every day her memories would come up floating to her, making it impossible to forget. Another interesting thing, in this sentence, she uses the word tawi, which means worthless and useless. She's belittling herself, probably for not being able to keep her promise, but it could also be for not being able to accept the end. She was longing for him yesterday, but today she regrets doing so because she realizes that it goes against the promise she made. She's sad and confused. She can't control her memories. As I previously said, the promise she made was not a lie. She was firm and thought she'd be able to erase the man, so it seemed genuine. The man believed that and didn't even look back. Oh, and I think it's clear, but the day she's talking about is the day she expressed the first Han. Oh, see, here she's saying that he didn't even look back. This is a reference to Han, where they quite literally ask him to not even try to look or come back. An interesting point here, the word used is 뒤도 돌아보지, which is often used to talk about things, people, or activities you are done with. There's a nuance in this word that implies that you don't have a single trace of regret for doing so. Oh, this line hits like a gunshot. Would it be greedy of her to wait for the man to bring the spring again? This seems like emotional dependency, right? Emotional dependency is the tendency to rely on others to fulfill our emotional needs, seek validation, and feel worthy. While it's natural to seek solace and support from those we love, emotional dependency crosses the line when we become excessively reliant on others for our emotional well-being, self-esteem, and sense of identity. That being said, I don't think that's what she means here, and here's why. The way it's written here is almost as if she's talking to herself, and while this can be done informally, there's no reason why she'd do this on a song song that is almost a poem. So she's asking herself if it would be greedy of her to wait for the spring to come again. The reason for that is that she knows that it's self-destructive behavior. Oh, and the use of the word greedy wouldn't make sense unless she's talking to herself. After all, her being selfish and waiting for the man doesn't affect the man at all. She says that the moon has become full many times, meaning that a lot of time has passed since she's felt that way. Quick science lesson. The moon is illuminated by light from the sun, and as the moon moves around Earth, the amount of illumination it receives from the sun changes, creating the lunar phases. The moon completes a single lunar cycle in about 1 month. This is just a fun fact, as I don't think there's any meaning behind it. But in Korea, when the moon is framed behind things, it's common to say that the moon is hanging from it. The whole moon thing can reference the song Moon from the same album, which talks about a single day when the darkness has gone away, and she can rest for a while on a bright night. She's probably starting to accept the winter. Now this is the best part of the song, not only because it's Shuhua's part, but because there's a whole twist here. Throughout the song, despite not actively mentioning the man or the word you, everything is obviously about him. So when translating, you can understand what and who she's talking about. She previously said in a similar part that she was yearning for them yesterday and was resenting them today. Here she says that she yearned today and resents the tomorrow. The man is not implied. She's talking about the day itself. It seems like she's been so sad that she was longing for a new day today, but there was no difference from yesterday as she continued suffering, and realizing that nothing changed, she resents tomorrow because she knows that the cycle will continue. I think this is the highlight of the song because it's a very subtle yet great change from the girls suffering for someone to the girls wanting to end the cycle. The fact that this high point is Shuhua's part as well is very well thought, as she was the one who inspired Soyeon to create the album I Burn and Hwa. As the song slightly changes as it reaches the end, I am pretty sure she's talking about her own spring here. As you saw through the explanation, she's having a hard time accepting her emotions, and the fact that it's taking so long to do so upsets her. So she asks if it's greedy to keep waiting for her spring to appear again. Plus, since the next song of the trilogy is when the change actively happens, it makes me think that the change begins to happen at the end here. That's my takeaway considering the nuanced changes, however. She could be talking about the man's spring as she's very desperate for the cold winter to be over, and sees no other exit other than his return. I think you can see the parallels between Han and Han alone in winter easily. It's the perfect bridge connecting the sentiment of the girl who coldly wants to erase someone but can't, and the bitterness she faces for being unable to do so, falling into the gloom. Well, that was a trip down sadness lane. That's it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it because it was very fun for me. I'll just need 1 year of free therapy. Thank you for watching. I hope you stay tuned for the continuation of this series, which will be analyzing Hwa. Thank you and bye.